Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news and analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Make sure you guys are spamming the like button, hitting the share so other people can spam that like button. Let's get this party started, y'all. Hold up, I lost my. That's not good. Hold up, let me grab this. There we go. All right, we're good. All right, what's up? What time is it for you right now? It is 7:47. In the afternoon. Yeah, let's get into it. 14 out of 10, says Tim. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin sitting at 107,900. Bro, my God. I'm having difficulties here. Let me get out of this. I need to get like a something. There we go. Good morning. What's up? Feels like garbage. Weather making my body sore. 8 out of 10. How you doing, my man? Doing fine. Doing fantastic. I woke up on the right side of the dirt, so it's a good day. What ski? Right time. Class is in session. All right, yeah. As of the time of recording, sitting at 107,400 and $9 for, well, depending on which one you're looking at, $800. But what we're seeing again is just the break up higher and chop for Bitcoin. And I like this range here. I like this range between what we've been seeing is 111,000 and basically $106,600. That's a good thing. The longer the chop, the higher the launch. People get bored with that. People get very impatient with that. But the truth of the matter is, what I'm encouraged by right now. My God. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out a better system. What I am encouraged by today, specifically today. The birds are laughing. I know, right? Today, Ethereum is having a green day. It's up at 2648, while Bitcoin is down 1 point something percent. And that bodes really well for Bitcoin dominance. I'm going to keep my eye on this for sure. But on the 5 hour, we're getting pretty close here to making a little micro low here. That would be a really good thing. On the daily, we haven't quite got that yet. Although this daily candle definitely has more strength. And how I measure things, I don't really count the wicks. So you could almost classify this as a new low already. But, we would like confirmation at 63.5 to really say, hey, we got a new low in here. And then ultimately getting Bitcoin dominance into 62% is going to be a really, really good thing. So many are saying alts are not going to pop now. Great, Alex. That's fantastic news. That's what I like to see for sure. When they start telling you that alts are going to 5-10x, it might be time to reevaluate things. But as of where we're at right now, that's a really good thing. I think I could smoke a cigar now. We'll see. Says, got my notebook here and present. Professor Ski, what's up, bro? Me, myself, and I. Says, the majestic Ski, I like the setup. Outside is groovy. What's up, Ski? When you camping again? I'm camping right now, bro. Not really. I think the 5th I'll be camping for sure. Like actually, technically, LCX pump is LCX pumping. I know that Dynex has woken up, which is a really good thing. That's been one that has definitely underperformed. But let's take a look at LCX. Up 13%. I would definitely call that a nice day for sure. A nice day for a white wedding. Yeah, this is definitely a higher high at this point. And this is a very strong looking 5-hour candle here. How hot are we? Not that hot on the RSI on the 5-hour. How hot are we on the daily? This definitely is taking out this little wick over here. What we would like to see is macro taking this out, filling out this body candle at about 15 cents, which we already got it. You know what I mean? We're chilling there now, but the body candle is not close to that yet. Just getting it across to the upside. So this looks like it's got some room to go, in my opinion. This is, I think, a good value. It's up 13%. This looks to be a clear break of reversal here. It's clearly been on a downtrend in the micro, and this is a clean reversal of that. What we see is a clear uptrend here of lower highs, and we're about to make an official higher high. That would be a very, very good thing. Ultimately, I think that LCX gets to $1.11 as high as $2.22. That is my prediction for LCX. All right, let's make sure I didn't get nobody. GameStop 500 million Bitcoin buy. The ETH ETF inflows have been slightly increasing inflows. I know there's the XRP ETF is pending approval. The ADA is pending approval. There's a Solana ETF pending approval. All the most bullish news humanly possible, and the sentiment is at the all-time low. So I like where we're at for sure. I think that things are looking really good, and I would be very concerned if retail was so, you know, if they were so bullish right now. That would not be a good thing. That would not be a good sign. T13 says, win alt season. You need two things to be true at the same time in order to get alt season. Thing number one, Bitcoin must make an all-time high. Check. That just happened a couple of days ago. And thing number two that must be happening is Bitcoin dominance must be rolling over. And in my opinion, we have a clear setup for that. I mean, even today, Bitcoin pulls back from, what was it, 110, 111, I think was the height. You could call it 109. And now we're at 107,000. So Bitcoin is having a red day. But what is not having a red day? Ethereum and a lot of the altcoins. Very quietly, like everyone's always like, you know, it's all gloom and doom when the altcoins pull back. Why are you talking so much about Bitcoin? But when it's the reverse, when Bitcoin pulls back and the altcoins are up, ski, like we're cooked. Like, okay. But two things need to be true at the same time. Bitcoin must be making an all-time high. That is stipulation number one. We have that. And stipulation number two, Bitcoin dominance must be rolling over. And it looks very, very close to being confirmation of that. I would say micro confirmation is getting a micro low, 63.5. And then the macro confirmation is getting to 62%. That would be a check that, yes, we have gotten indeed our confirmation of things. 5.3 liquidation on Uni. Okay. Let's see. What's your leverage, brother? 5.3. Let me move my thing over a little bit. I think that has a strong plausibility. It's not impossible, but very plausible, because this looks like micro accumulation, micro sign of strength, and then your back test. It would be unplausible. It would be not probable to go lower than this low right here. It could happen, but you know, you live with that. You live with you want to live with the highest probability. I would say the highest probability is $5.30 liquidation on Uni is a decent or a good spot to be, in my opinion. Alex losing faith with having an alt season. I am not. That's okay. He can lose faith. That's all right. It doesn't change my mind. I feel comfortable disagreeing with him. If he's even losing faith. I don't know that that's even even the case. Do you see SUI hitting $15 to $20 range? No major unlock until 2030. I don't think so. I don't think so. We'll take a look at SUI in just a second. Ski with the dominance down. Will Bitcoin fall and accumulate when alts run up? I don't think so. I don't think that Bitcoin's going to break like this layer right in here. Like it could backtest 100K, like sure. But as far as like Bitcoin going into a new prolonged downtrend, I don't think that that's the next phase. I don't think that Bitcoin has a lot of return from here. You know, we're looking at a 50% move, 100% move. But generally, no. I just think we're going to chop. And I think that the altcoins are going to wake up very, very soon here. All right, let's look at Arrow, and then let's look at SUI. The question was, can SUI get to $15? And off the top of my head, I would say no. But I don't know for sure. Arrow has clearly broken this downtrend. It has its accumulation, sign of strength backtest. I don't mind this chart. I think that there's a decent bit of inflation on SUI, or Arrow and SUI, really. $1.55. That is the retracement. I would definitely consider taking profits there. $5 is the parabolic. Let's check out SUI. I don't remember, is the truth. $15. I think it's $7 is my target. $10. Okay, so the absolute parabolic is $10. So can it get to 15? Like, sure. That's plausible. I'm not waiting for that though, for sure. If I'm a SUI hoarder, which I'm not. Losing faith on everything, Ski. Good. The beatings will continue until morale is improved. Good. Ski, you still lifting or are you taking a break? I am lifting. I just I hit chest today, actually. I have this thing called Active and Fit. It's pretty awesome if you guys have that. I don't know if you do or don't, but if you have Active and Fit, basically it gives you access to like 10,000 gyms plus across the world, and you could just work out. It's like $28 a month, and you could just work out at any gym. So I've worked out at a couple of different gyms since I've been here. By the way, the FTX thing, that's a big deal too. FTX is releasing, I saw someone compare it to last time they released coin. Last time it was like they released Solana and they released some crypto, if I understand correctly. But this time they're releasing stable coins, directly injecting stable coins into the market to the tune of $5 billion. I think in a couple of days. That is no small thing for in a couple of days. That little things here right now, but all right, let's look at Quant. I like Quant. You know, I'm in a long on Quant right now. It's performed very, very well for me. I think I got in that long at like $80-something. This is a clear break, in my opinion, and this is a clear break. What we would like to see for sure, for like triple confirmation, which there's already going to be a decent bit of gains that happen, but is $1.69 taking out this high. In my opinion, we've already broken out of this wedge here that we've been in for a long time. So this looks like a breakout. Confirmation that it is a breakout is going to be taking this point right here out. But ultimately, $300 is the retracement. Still, $700 to $1,300 is the parabolic. Quant just kind of does its own thing. It's kind of hilarious. Sometimes Quant will just rip by itself. Nothing else is doing it. And sometimes Quant will just be crashing. Everything else is up. Quant is the only one, in my opinion, where it just kind of does its own thing. It does what it does. Audio is cutting out. Okay. Is that better? The sound is lagging. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Test. I think, are we good? Did we fix it? I think we fixed it. Hopefully we fixed it. If not, the show must go on. Where's my internet though? Yes. I hope I don't prematurely sell my bags. Bro, why is this? Oh my god. Where did my internet go? Great. I lost my... Not good. I lost my internet. Good on TikTok. Yeah, but some reason it's there we go. Alright, we're good. Alright. Says you good, better now. Alright, we're good. My bad, guys. Good on TikTok. Alright, sweet. All good on TikTok. ZBCN. My thing has done something weird here where it is like ultra zoomed in a weird way. I don't know what just happened here, but that's fine. ZBC. This is in a clear breakout. Good on YouTube. We still here, boss. Yeah, it's doing something weird where I can't it's like ultra zoomed in for some reason. Maybe if I minus. Like I can't see the bottom screen. Like I can't see my internet browser. All that stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out. There we go. Alright. I'm good. My God. That was crazy. Alright, Z back. I figured it out. F11 to exit full screen. Yeah, we don't want that. I'm not used to this laptop setup, my God. It's all good. Alright. This is in full-on price discovery. I would not be adding a position to this. It gave you a year at this price. No thank you. This is already my first macro target. Says stop smoking that shit. It's a cigar, bro. 0.005 was my first macro target. We already hit that pretty cleanly. A penny is the, we're looking at a 100% move. I have no interest in adding to this. If you get a back test at the prior range of, 0.002, okay. 0.003 maybe, sure. But, this is not a good position to add in my opinion. Jim. People love to buy Z-back when it goes parabolic. Literally, the web, that's how it goes. People, it's the same thing. Someone just asked me to look up Solnick chart. I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to be boring, and then it's going to break out, and then people are going to FOMO in. This, in my opinion, is a clean. We had a huge wedge. It's been making higher lows. It made a higher high, and then it back tested the prior range. This is a very clean breakout back test. The next phase is starting the markup, and guess what? It's going to be the same thing with ZBEC, except the ROI is going to be a lot higher. People are going to FOMO into this. This is about as clean as it gets, though, of a giant macro wedge, a breakout of this wedge, a back test of the wedge. Beautiful, beautiful looking chart. This is one of my favorite 100x plays, period. Says the cream rises to the top. What would safe liquidation be for ETH if I want to hold till 4K? I think you could do 3x leverage and DCA like that. That's kind of what I'm doing. Thank you for the popular. Yeah, Savage. I appreciate you. There we go. F11. My God. I figured it out, guys. I'm so silly. Stay boring while I'm stacking. Let's go. That's what you want. You want it to be boring while you're stacking. Thank you for the bat and the basketball. Yes, savages. I appreciate you. Looks like a big, beautiful chart. Big, beautiful chart. Hey, Ski, can you look at Jasm and ETH, please? I like Jasm. I think my target for Jasm is 10, 11, 12. That's my low, medium, high for Jasm. I don't mind it, though. It looks okay to me, you know. It looks like it's broken this little micro downtrend here and is now in a micro uptrend. My macro targets for Jasm are 10, 11, 12 cents. I do think that the next phase is taking out this high right here, which would be pretty good. New house? No, this is not a new house. I am in the wild. I'm outside. Let's take a look at ETH. ETH to me is a beat or two behind Bitcoin. I really like where Ethereum is at here. It was in a downtrend. It chopped sideways and boring, just like Bitcoin did. Broke higher, chopped sideways and boring, just like Bitcoin did at the sign of strength. This is the equivalent of Bitcoin being at 95K. And we are basically at a yearly. I don't know if this is the yearly. Hold up. No. Not the yearly. The yearly would be 3,700. This is a 6-month high right now. Daily body close, 6-month high. As we can see. It's wicked a couple of heights higher, as we can see. But these are just wicks. But this is the highest daily body candle that we've had on Ethereum over the last 6 months. So this is a really good spot for Ethereum. And I think, like, this is what I've been talking about. I just said this yesterday. There's a reasonable plausibility that Bitcoin goes and it pulls back a little bit and the altcoins do not. That's literally what Ethereum is doing, because that is the phase that we are moving into. That is the phase that we are moving into. So in my opinion, the next little micro, medium term phase for the next medium term phase for Ethereum is getting to 3,300. Damn, my cigar went out. You hate to see it. Mining Bitcoin is the best thing anyone can do. I'm a Bitcoin miner. I'm a fan. I don't know if it's the best, but it's good. Would taking all my profits and rotating in Bitcoin after the summer altcoin run a terrible idea? Jo, it depends on how hot we get there. I don't think that, listen, I'm not going to have preconceived notions. If Bitcoin is looking like distribution and going back into accumulation, maybe that's a good play. If we have a good run with altcoins and Bitcoin goes into distribution, comes back into reaccumulation, I think that that's a solid play. But if there's a chance that that's not what happens, like the sort of common knowledge or the common like theatrics is going to be that Bitcoin and the altcoins go into July and August, and then it's just going to be good night, Charlene. But I've said all along, November of 2025 is when I think peak euphoria is going to be. I'm not married to that. I'm going to let the charts sort of dictate that, but you know, we'll see what things happen, because I've laid it out there as well that there's a reasonable plausibility that, you know, everyone thinks that Bitcoin is going to skip the break the 4-year cycle, but no one is suspecting it's going to break it to the upside. And I think there's a reasonable plausibility that we have the sort of roaring 20s of crypto. I think that that's a reasonable plausibility, especially when you think about, you know, I think that Trump has made crypto almost a partisan issue, right? He's almost made it a Republican thing now. And so, like, Republicans aren't going to hold the office forever, and they might not have a vested interest in Bitcoin in 2028 or whenever it's going to be. They might sell whatever we've acquired. So we'll see. But I think that there's a reasonable plausibility, not necessarily what I think is the highest probability, but a reasonable plausibility that Bitcoin skips a 4-year cycle and has a sort of roaring 20s moment before going into 2029. When Euphoria ski, in my opinion, it is December, or excuse me, November of 2025. Whoops. Yes, just you. I think you've been blacklisted, mate. I've been blacklisted. What have I been blacklisted about? What do you think is a good price for putting a long on ETH? I've actively been longing ETH. I think if you can get it around 2,500, I think that's a solid price, but it looks like it might break out. If it breaks out, you know, it's at the top of the range. That's the truth. Hey, Ski, has Coinbase emailed you to verify? No, they have not. I'm Raymond. Did you buy to 30 cents? This is like really small. I need to get a bigger screen. Says I'm getting so impatient. Good. That's great news. The beating shall continue until morale is improved. The beatings will continue until morale is improved. I'm getting impatient. Great. Fantastic. Retail cannot be in this game. July and January highs, just a guess. 2,400 in January. 24,000. 240,000, excuse me, in January. My prediction for Bitcoin is 138 is my most probable medium case scenario, and 207. 240, like, that's not, you know, that's within striking distance of 207. I'm not mad at that prediction, but when we look at the 3618, the 3618 is at 207. That's why that's my prediction. Which would give more gains buying now? Perhaps VSOL? What are you asking me, bro? Robert or Rockfort says you posted about an alt run in June, July. Is that still possible, or you think November run more likely? No, I think the run starts it could be next week. But yeah, June, July. I think we're going to have a significant run in altcoins. Definitely, yes. And I think that Bitcoin dominance is going to really roll over in June, July. Yes, I do think that. But what I'm throwing out there, while I believe that things will start to heat up significantly in June, July, I'm just letting it be known that what I'm seeing on Twitter, what I'm seeing on TikTok, what I would say from regular people is the new narrative is that's when it's going to be. And so I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, maybe we start, but I think that we could roll way past that, way beyond that. As in, I don't remember who asked me, but someone asked me, should I sell in July, buy back into Bitcoin, and then rotate again? And I'm just like advocating like not to make decisions based off of time, because I think that that's I don't think you're going to be in the right flavor if you do that more times than not. But yes, to answer your question, I do think bare bones minimum, Ethereum gets to 3,300 by then. Bare bones minimum, Bitcoin dominance is showing real signs of rolling back over by then. And I think that things are going to be heating up by then. Yes, certainly. The question is, what I'm advocating is I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the end of it. I think it's going to be more the start of it, if that makes sense. Hello, Wilderness Ski. What is the best way to take profit in your opinion? It depends on your goals, John. Is your goals to accumulate more Bitcoin? Then Bitcoin is your best bet. Is your goals to buy a house? Then get it in cash. Is your goals to continue to trade? Then maybe USDC, USDT. I generally do USDC or USDT because I generally look at them the same as cash because they're very easily off and on ramped, especially like PayPal, USD, or USDC with Coinbase. Those are easy off ramps. And both of those places view USDC and PayPal USD the same as cash. So I would ask, like, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? That would be number one. But if you're asking me, what do I generally do? I generally take profit in USDC or USDT, or sometimes PayPal USD. It just depends. Because that's super fluid. I can do a lots of things. If I need like actual cash in my bank account, I can make that cash in my bank account. If I want to rebuy crypto with that, I can rebuy crypto with that. That gives you a lot of options. USDT, yes. What up, Ski? Definitely only the start. I think so. What are some tips to reduce capital gains tax, Ski? Never sell. If you never sell, you never pay taxes. That's like tip number one. Try to figure out how you can borrow from your crypto rather than sell it. And that definitely exists. That exists with Aave. That exists with Coinbase. There's lots of protocols. By the way, Solnic is working on a protocol right now that will allow you to borrow your crypto. That's a non-taxable event. So that's going to be number one. The least taxable event is going to be borrowing USDC or USDT from your crypto and then purchasing whatever it is that you're trying to purchase. That would be the highest level of priority. If your goal is to avoid paying taxes, I would get a loan off of your crypto. Coinbase is an easy place to do that with Bitcoin. Aave lets you do it with some other like Ethereum stuff. There's definitely some Solana dApps that allow you to do that. And Solnic is working on our own Solana-based dApp where you're going to be able to borrow against your crypto without selling it, which will, free up a 40% Uncle Sam fee. That's going to be the easiest way. Another way is to hold it for a year and a day. If you hold it for a year and a day, your capital gains tax generally is 20% rather than 40%. That saves you half your bill. You only pay taxes off of what you profit, by the way. So if you bought, say, $10,000 worth of crypto a year ago and your crypto is worth $10,000 today and you sell it, you don't owe any taxes off that. If you lose the money, you don't owe taxes off that. In fact, that can offset some of your gains if you sell at a loss. That's called tax loss harvesting. But generally, like if I bought $10,000 worth of a crypto a year and a day ago, and now it's worth $20,000, if I sell all $20,000, I owe capital gains off of the $10,000 of profit, not the $10,000 that I invested. If that makes sense. The Web, thank you for the $5 donation, brother. I appreciate you, you savage. $2 million Solnic, 1.2 hee 280K of VeChain, 380K of XYO, 9,000 of ADA. Can I expect a minimum of 200 to 300K in the end of bull? I think so. I think that's super plausible. Easily 200K, bro. Lane says, unfortunately, had to sell my Bitcoin bag to buy a house. Ended up getting sold out from under me. It happens, bro. It happens. But, there's other houses available on the market. Listen, I think your head's in the right spot, right? If you're going to sell an asset, it should be to buy another asset, right? that is the wealth mindset. That is the way of being. I think your head is in the right spot. I think that there's going to be other opportunities. You still probably have the cash. So if another opportunity presents itself, so be it. If not, you could buy back. It's okay either way. But I think your head's in the right spot. You know, I think what people do is they sell their crypto for a boat. And that's fine. If a boat brings you joy, then a boat brings you joy. And you really can't put a number on peace and happiness. However, to really like grow your wealth and put yourself in a good position, I think selling assets, if you're going to sell an asset, you should be selling it for another cash flowing asset, which will get you more assets, which obviously real estate is one of those things. So I don't think that your head is in the wrong place, Lane. Maybe this opportunity just didn't work out for you, but that's okay. There's going to be other opportunity. There's other houses for sure. Maybe this house had something, terrible. Who knows? I think maybe I'm like super woo-woo or whatever, but I just really think that if I put myself in a position to have an opportunity work out for me and it doesn't work out for me, I really believe in my heart and my soul that wasn't meant to be for me, and there's a reason it didn't work out. And maybe that's woo-woo, maybe that's all hippy-dippy, but that's what I believe. I believe that whatever you envision for your life, if you work, if you put yourself in the correct opportunity, that will be there for you or something better. So maybe this one didn't work out, but it could just mean that door closed, but a better door is going to open for you. And I'm not trying to speak hopium and all hippy dippy, but this is how I really operate my life. I think if I put myself in a position to get an opportunity, the opportunity doesn't work out, I really believe in my soul and my being that there's a better opportunity for me. And I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen again and again and again and again. Gavzad, thank you for the roses, brother. I appreciate you. You savage. Will there be a way to set up recurring buys on Solana, on Solnic, on-chain? Yes, there will be. There absolutely will be a way to set up recurring buys. The French toast theory. I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's real or if you're trolling me, if you're... but, listen, that's how I really operate. Sometimes happen, you know. I've had many doors shut in my face that I thought were terrible at the time, and then in hindsight, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Some of my biggest failures in life, in hindsight, were some of the best things that ever happened to me. And that's just, that's just the truth with the cream on it, you know. The cream rises to the top. The cream will always rise to the top. So, Lane, keep your head up, brother. You're in the right spot. Things I lost were the best things that happened to me in hindsight. I mean, really, that's, like I can think of some relationships that I've had, where you don't, you think that you lose this person and it's the worst thing in the world. And then, like, I can think of an early relationship that I had where, it didn't work out. And I felt like, man, I really need to get her back. And I really focused on myself and I really improved myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And then when I did that, I realized, hey, I have peace now. I didn't have peace. I have happiness. I have joy. All these things that I didn't have. And then I realized, like, hey, this was a good thing. This is a way better thing for me. And so that just happens a lot. Losing job to mandate's best thing ever. Have you ever been stationed in South Korea? No, I have not, but I've heard, Tyler, I've heard mixed things on South Korea. Yeah, South Korea. I've heard, like, some people just love it with all their heart, and some people hate it with all their guts. And I've never heard any in between. being stationed in South Korea is kind of like XRP. You either love XRP with all your heart or you hate it with all your guts. You don't really find an in between. That's how I would. That's my perspective on everyone else with South Korea, but I never got there. No. Did you do Bitcoin Dominance already, Ski? Yeah, Bitcoin Dominance is looking good. I'm very encouraged by Bitcoin Dominance. I think we're headed in the right direction. Bro, what? Oh, man, I'm not even going to read that comment. What, bro? Oh, man. If you traveled and made the most of it, it was amazing. I mean, I had some good times. I mean, the military for me was the best, worst time of my life. I had some awesome times. I met some really cool people. I went to some really cool places. I had some terrible times too, and everything in between. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got out. You know, like for me, it was everything that it was supposed to be. I think in the military there's 3 types of soldiers, and I was all 3 of these soldiers. You know, throughout my career, I was all 3 of these soldiers. There is the soldier that the army or the military is good for them, and they are not good for the military. In the beginning of my career, this was me. The military was good for me. I was not good for the military. And then there is like you're good for the military, and the military is good for you. And in the middle of my career, that's how I was. Like it was a good thing, and we had a good thing. I was an asset, and they were an asset to me. And then towards the end of my career, it was I was good for the military. They were no longer good for me. So there you go. Why isn't Solnick doing so well? In what, like, how are we categorizing in this? Because since March, it's up 150%. Like, what would you consider not so well? Because I would consider 17 years of stock market gains pretty well. In the matter of a couple of months, I would consider that pretty well. Let me know what you classify as pretty well, but outperforming the entire market to the upside and to the downside, continuously making higher highs and higher lows, continually doubling every single bottom from the last, I would consider that pretty well. And since March, it's up 150%. That's 17 years of stock market gains. That's like going to work 40 hours a week, investing patiently, investing faithfully for 40 hours a week. You're going home, you're paying your bills, you're investing faithfully, and then you do that for 17 years. That's what Solnick has done since March. So I don't know what you classify as performing so well, but that's pretty good to me, if you ask me. But what do I know? I'm just some guy outside in the wild. Yeah, like I'm just some guy outside in the wild. Like, I don't know. If you're asking me, where are my indicators, bro? Like, I have done something to my chart here. And I'm not having a good time. I was going to do a measurement tool, but I know from this point it's up 150% today. I don't know where all my stuff went, man. I pressed a button earlier today. You would think for a guy who makes his living online, you would think that I'm like super tech savvy. And I'm streaming from the wild, so maybe I'm a little bit, but some things not so much. I don't know what I've done here, but I can't seem to like I don't know. But I was going to use the measurement tool. I don't know where it went though. That's fine. We just got a couple. Love to hear it. ETC mooning Sue. I think ETC is a market leader for sure. Did you mean Phantom or Solnick? Is ICP about to move up a leg? It has Stale is my personality. Let's take a look at ICP. Yeah, I think so. Like, this is already deep in accumulation. You already had your selling climax, your secondary test in phase B, and your spring. It's gotten your sign of strength, your back test. The next phase is going to be taking you to $9, which is going to be the retracement. Dominance is starting to fall off a cliff. I agree. Dominance is looking really, really good. How many pips is that since March? What are you asking me? Favorite RR blue cap? RR. What do you mean by RR? Are you asking me? Let's look at dominance. I don't like what's happened with my chart here. This is I need to figure this out. I don't know what's happened here. Let me just pull. Don't save it, please. Let me just go on TradingView on here because this is kind of crazy. There we go. Something happened to my thing there that was not awesome. What is, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. There we go. All right, cool. Great. Let's go back to Bitcoin dominance. Risk reward. Okay. Sonic is my favorite 100x play, but as far as like blue chips, it's probably ICP, VeChain maybe, ADA. I think that those are good plays. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance clearly is it's gotten rejected off the 702, which is what I predicted was going to happen. Like, we've been talking about this a lot. I said that we had our first plunge here, we had our move to the 618702, and then rolling back over. In my opinion, this is where we're at right now. So yeah, confirmation is going to be 63.5. Double confirmation is going to be 62%. That's going to be the more macro lower low, which is definitely, I mean, Ethereum's really going to be woken up by then for sure. Why is BNC bearish on altcoins? Solent gold still 10 cents, $1, $5. Correct. My low case is 10 cents. My medium case is $1. My bull case is $5.89. Hey man, do you trade? If so, are you in any? Yes, I do trade. Yes, I'm in a lot of trades right now. I put all of my trades in the Telegram. Anytime I long or short, I put it in the Telegram. 2 NFTs get you lifetime access. Bare naked crypto. Listen. Listen. Here's what I remember bare naked crypto. Because I've been making content and he's been making content. Here's the takes that he's had that I can remember. Okay. When Bitcoin was at $16,000, he said to everyone that it was going to $3,000. Okay. When Bitcoin went from 25,000 back to 20,000, he was very happy. He started beating his chest. He said, see, we're going to 3K. At 31K, we pulled back to 25K. He said he was going to expose me. I never heard anything from him. We pulled back. He still said that we were going to 3K. He was bearish there. I didn't hear anything from him. In fact, I think he stopped making posts for a little while until we pulled back to about 80K. He then started beating his chest again. So it's in his name. Like, you know, if you're bearish all the time, sometimes you're going to be right. Even a blind dog catches a bone every now and again. You know? Even a blind dog gets a bone every now and again. You'll see, bro. What do I see? What do you think of SLP? Do you have ETH makes a new all-time high before we experience alt season? No. All Ethereum needs to get to is 3,300. Now, I think it's very plausible / probable that Ethereum makes a new all-time high. To kick off alt season, though, we do not need that. We need Ethereum at about 3,300. That would be a clean reversal in dominance. That's all we need from Ethereum. Can Ethereum get us to 3,300? That will kick off alt season. We don't need Ethereum making an all-time high to make alt season happen. No. We need Ethereum getting about 3,300 to really confirm it. Much more solid than SLP. I think the same about him. I just wanted your input. I don't think about other men. I just know he's always bearish. That's cool. That's fine. You know, if you watch someone who's always bearish, that's cool. There's nothing against that. You know, I know other creators who are always bearish. I know of a creator who was bearish at 16K. Here's a creator. I'm not even going to say the name. They were bearish at 16K. They were bearish at 25K. They were bearish at 20K. They were bearish at 25K. They were bearish at, 31K. They were bearish at 30K. They were bearish at 48K. They were bearish at 38K. They were bearish at 74K. They were bearish at 56K. They were bearish at 72K. They were bearish at 53K. They were bearish at 69K. They were bearish at 49K. They were bearish at $109,000. They were bearish at $74,000, and they were bearish now. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with watching these people. But it's like, if I'm going to watch CNN, I should know that they're left-leaning. If I'm going to watch Fox, I should know that they're right-leaning. If you're going to watch someone who has a clear bias, always, that's fine. You just need to know what it is. And know that, hey, the information that I'm receiving is coming from a person who is always has a jade towards this way. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. You just need to know what it is. You just got to know what it is. Why is VeChain decent? VeChain has one of the best charts in crypto, in my opinion, especially for blue chips. It's at the 236, which is what I consider to be extreme value. There's low to no inflation. These are all really good things. 100K is the support. How do I join the Telegram, brother? 2 NFTs from Launch My NFT get you lifetime access. Or you can get a consultation from me. That also gets you lifetime access. And then you just show proof of your purchase, and then you get lifetime access. That's how that works. My top values as of the time of recording: Solnic, H&T, Rose, ICP, Shiba, Dent, VeChain, Naka, IOTA, Flux, Theta, Krill, Suki, Raven, Dynex, Dot, LCX, Sauce, Hee, Crow, NXRA, Phantom News, 1, XYO, ADA, Link, XNO, Fat Cats, AR. Is he Crypto Bastard / Crypto Chaos? No. I think, I don't know. Like, I don't really watch Crypto Bastard like that. I'm pretty sure he's been bullish, though, at times. I don't think he's a perma-bear. Try hitting the blue square. I fixed it. I just exited out of the app and I opened up the yeah, I wanted to show Solnic. I exited out of the app and I opened up the web browser instead. It was something I pressed on this laptop. This is a new laptop. I'm not really too sure, but yeah, I just wanted to show like what I'm saying is true. It's literally up to this day right now 100% since March. And then just recently, just the last couple of weeks, Solnic is up. It went up 63%. So when you go up 63%, you're going to have a back test, not only so 63% and then a back test of 20%. Not only is that what you should do, like that's a way healthier way of moving. So many influencers in Bitcoin Vegas. I mean, I went to Bitcoin Nashville. I'm not going to hate on them. It's cool. Bitcoin, VeChain is hella inflation. What do you mean? Nope. Incorrect. All right, let me show you. Let me show you how you judge inflation. That is incorrect, sir. Here's how you judge if there's inflation. Go to CoinMarketCap or anything, really. Look at the market cap. Okay, and then look at the FDV. These should be similar. There is not hella inflation on VeChain. There is almost none, actually. In fact, we can see 99.16% of all of the circulating supply is in circulation. So that is incorrect. Now, I don't know what the inflation on SLP is. I don't know. But we can find out. There's not a lot on SLP either. The market cap is 68 million. The FDV is 68.52. So, same. The inflation on both of these are the same. There is no max supply on SLP, though, where there is a maximum supply on VeChain. So, no, that is incorrect. There is no inflation on VeChain. That is an incorrect statement, sir. Me, myself, and I, thank you for the $1.99 donation. You savage. Ski, your medium price for Flux, sir. I think $13. You know, $8 would be my medium, I guess. Yeah, so VeChain does not have inflation. That is incorrect. Fake news. Tiny breakout for Ethereum, 2703. Let's go. Is it safe to stake all my Solnic tokens guaranteed 5%, right? Yes, that is correct. Now, it's still in beta. I mean, yeah, it's safe. It's still in beta, though. I want to, before I start really promoting it, I want to get it completely finished. But yes, it is safe. It is live. It is live right now. And I do know, actually, the 90 days is going to get moved to 3%. So that's happening. So, I mean, maybe if you guys want to, I'm not trying to FOMO anybody, but that's going to happen. Because what I want is each increment to be higher than the last. So you can't game the system, right? So essentially, it's going to be 3% for 90 days. It'll be 7% for 180 days. And then it will be 15% for 360. And then for 720, I think is 31%. I think that's right. That's how it's going to be. And we have, I'll show you the withdrawal schedule. There's a tiered withdrawal, but basically each one of those is different, but it's a sliding scale. So if you withdraw within like 30 days of the 90 days, you're going to pay a big penalty. 60 days, you're going to pay a less penalty. And then 90 days of the 90 days, you're going to get the full percentage. 180 is going to be the same. Earlier on, you're going to pay a big penalty for withdrawing early. As you go on, you're going to pay less and less of a penalty. And then at the end, you're going to get the full reward. That's how that's going to work. Do you get paid in Solnic or Solana for staking? You get paid in Solnic. No, it should be 5. SLP does not have inflation either. That is correct, Jim. It's a low market cap. Like, so I'm going to shoot you straight here. The upside potential, we'll look at the chart on SLP. The upside potential on SLP obviously is going to be higher because it's way less of a market cap. It's only $68 million market cap. So the potential gains for SLP are going to be way higher. SLP does not have inflation. The tokenomics on SLP look excellent. So I'm not going to just be like, oh, just because you hate VeChain, that means that SLP sucks. No, I don't think so. In fact, I would say that this is an accumulation, and the ROI potential is going to be higher for SLP. But I would say that the ROI guarantee is going to be higher for VeChain. Both of them have good tokenomics. Solnic staking paid out monthly? No. Solnic staking is paid when the contract is complete. So if you do 90 days, you're going to get your staking when you withdraw or at the 90 days. All right, so 17 cents is the retracement. Yeah, I think that this has a higher ROI potential. But I would give, like, that's a 30x. You know, that's going to be crazy. That's a really boom bust play where I think that VeChain has a high probability of doing a 5x, where I don't know that SLP has a high probability of doing a 5x, but also, like, it could do a 40x. You know what I mean? I don't think that VeChain is going to do a 40x. Yeah, let's look at ETH. So there you go. I don't mind this chart, though, just to be frank with you. Like, this is your markdown. This is your accumulation. You're well below the 236. There's not inflation on SLP. That's a good thing. ETH is breaking out. But yeah, that was incorrect what you said earlier. VeChain also does not have inflation. The easiest way to check inflation is just search any coin. It doesn't matter. I'll show you a bad example. So, Sui. Right? This is what you don't want to see. I've seen worse than this, but this definitely is not. This is, for me, the threshold is too high. So the market cap, when we talked about SLP, it was $68 million market cap. The FDV was $68 million. That's 100% A+ tokenomics. That's what that tells you. Okay, well, look at Sui. $12 billion market cap, $36 billion FDV. That means that there's like 2x left on supply dumpage. Not great. There's way worse examples, though. Like Filecoin is an example. 1.9 billion. The FDV is 6 billion. Terrible. So that's all you got to do is just compare. You want them to be in the same flavor. They don't need to be the same. To me, the threshold is about 40%. If there's a 40% discrepancy, that's about what I'm personally willing to tolerate for an investment. If it's above that, you know, it's shooter's discretion. For me, it's a no-go. But I want to see coins that are close from their market cap to their FDV. That's what I want to see. Gala. This one's a little bit tricky too because this has not a lot of future inflation. Market cap 884. FDV is 990, so that's good. So not a lot of future inflation, and that's what it tells us. 89% is already circulating. But I know for a fact this was 7 billion in 2022 because I made a video. It's one of my most popular videos is my Gala prediction. I could pull it up even for fun if you guys want. I don't really want to do that, but just take my word for it or search it yourself. My most popular video on YouTube is my Gala prediction, and the total supply was 7 billion, which means they have 7x the supply. Not great. Oh, I keep forgetting to look at Ethereum. You guys are telling me it's breaking out. I'm talking about like how we need Ethereum to break out. That is the next thing. You're telling me it's breaking out. And I'm just like over here lackadaisical, like it don't even matter, bro. It doesn't matter what you think. Now this looks good. ETH retesting the ceiling. Jam said ETH will not break out. Impossible. Again, if you are bearish every day, you will be right sometimes. You know, that's just the facts. If you're bearish every single day, you'll be right sometimes. If you're bullish every single day, you'll be right sometimes. Can you please look at Myra asking for a friend? Triple top, quadruple top. How many tops? No, ETH is about to break out is what Ethereum's about to do. Like, what chart are we looking at where we're like, oh, that's it for Ethereum. It's dead. Like, look how hot it was over here. Nowhere near the RSI. We're about to cross the upside on the daily. This is clearly a daily body 6-month high. Again, like what chart are we looking at where this looks like it's oversold? What are we looking at here? Because here's what I'm looking at. I've said Ethereum is about a beat or two behind Bitcoin. That's what I've been saying for a literal month now. Just like I was one of the only creators that I'm aware of that at $74,000, I was literally saying that the bottom is in and we're going to 95K and then we'll go to 100K. That's what I said, video evidence documented. That's what I said, April 7th, 2025, video evidence. I said that the bottom is in, we are not going lower, and the next micro move is 95K, which is the sign of strength. We will then chop there for a little bit before going to $118,000. I don't know if you see that SOS up there, but let's just see for funsies. This is painful to zoom in on this. Let's see for funsies where that was at. Can anyone tell me where is that SOS at? Oh, right. $95,000. All right. Okay, so on the top is Ethereum. On the bottom is Bitcoin. In my opinion, Ethereum is a beat or two behind Bitcoin. That's as plain and simple as it is. You have your markdown accumulation, break up higher, chopping out of the breakout. Break up higher, chopping at the breakout. You move up again, and you chop at the sign of strength. You move up again, you chop at the sign of strength. And then you continue to do that. In my opinion, Ethereum is flirting with breaking up to the next level. It's not going to go straight to parabolic. It's not going to go off to Valhalla. But I think it will go to about 3,000, maybe 3,300, and chop in between. Probably, in all likelihood, it's going to chop in between 2,800 and 3,400. It's going to do that. It's going to chop there for a little bit before it does the next thing that Bitcoin did. Like, what chart are we looking at that we think that? I don't think so. I don't agree. I love Solana. Everything follows Bitcoin and ETH. I feel that's correct. That's right, because that is the truth. You feel that way because it is that way. You don't feel the heat from the sun until the sun rises. Bitcoin is the sun. Ethereum is the moon. Ethereum is the moon. It's diminishing along with alts. Are you the same guy that said triple top? What do you mean, bro? You just said triple top and now it's diminishing. Which is it? Which is it, bro? Thanks for the goat. Hey, sweetie, what you doing? Yeah, Daddy's working. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah, who is it?
Okay. Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
Yeah, Daddy's working.
What to do it?
Yeah.
How?
What are you doing?
Huh?
He believes you?
Yeah.
All right, you want to sit there? Careful.
No.
Good night, baby.
Mommy, kiss me, Mommy.
She's adorable. God bless her. Thank you. Small ski. Explain it. Explain what? How many kids you have, Ski? I have 3 girls. I got 2 boys and a girl. How you feeling about the markets at the moment? I think that Bitcoin is just chopping, and that's fine. I think that Ethereum is flirting with danger in a good way. Woke up feeling dangerous in a good way. The next thing that we need to see is Ethereum getting to about 3,000, 3,300. That's literally all we're going to need from Bitcoin Dominance. Bitcoin Dominance is the last frontier that we're waiting for. All right, let's do this real quick. Okay. I do this a lot, but we're going to do it again. Okay. So this is Bitcoin Dominance, right? In my opinion, this is strong indications of distribution. Okay. And April 7th, 2025, when I said the bottom was in, here's XYZY, we're going to 95K. Bitcoin was at 74K. The reason I was so confident of that was because of Wyckoff accumulation. Okay. And I'm just going to show you real quick. You have a selling climax, a secondary test in phase B, which goes lower, a spring, which goes lower. That's what Bitcoin did in April. And I'll show it to you, and then we'll move on to Bitcoin Dominance. Okay. Here's what we got. Selling climax, secondary test in phase B goes lower. The spring goes lower than the secondary test in phase B. That's why I was so certain that that was the bottom, because I said that is the spring. We got our spring. I wasn't sure if we were going to get our spring. That's even what I said in the video. I wasn't sure if we were going to get the spring or not, because you have 2 scenarios. Sometimes you don't get a spring, you just get an LPS. And sometimes you get a spring. Okay? Well, the reason I bring all that up is because of the opposite of accumulation, which is a bottoming structure, is distribution, which is a topping structure. You have a buying climax and upthrust, which goes higher than the buying climax, the UTAD, which goes higher than the upthrust. In my opinion, that is what Bitcoin Dominance is working on, very deep in distribution. We have a buying climax. Let's try to set this up for y'all. An upthrust, which goes higher, a UTAD, which goes higher than the upthrust. You have a big plunge down. Let's put this on the daily so we can really see this. I'm going to show you exactly where I think we're at in the text. You have a big plunge down, a move up to the retracement, which is about 618 to 702, somewhere in that neck of the woods. We can see it right here. This is phase C. The UTAD goes higher than the upthrust. You have a big plunge down. You have a retrace to the 618, 702, somewhere in that neck of the woods. Where is Bitcoin Dominance? Right there. Right there. UTAD, plunge down, retrace, rejection off of the retrace, which we can clearly see. That is what's happening. These are strong candles. All the bodies are lower than this one at this point. Confirmation is going to be 62%, which will be a lower low. Will be taking us, this will be to 62%, a little retrace again, and then big plunge. That's when alt season is going to actually start. Okay? All it's going to take is Ethereum getting to 3,000. That's going to take us to 62%. That's all we need. That's all we need, and then the market will work itself out. I love that you're a family band. I appreciate that. 2 boys and a girl too. That's what I got. Oh. Top value play as of the time of recording is, I didn't mean to do that, Solnick. ETH is still going. It looks like it's breaking out live. We'll see how it actually closes, but, you know, if not today, if not tomorrow, you know, soon. Very, very soon. That's the next thing for Ethereum. Ethereum is going to be kicking off the Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion. That's the show. I'm in a long on Ethereum. Publicly. Video evidence. I'm in a long on Ethereum. I've been talking about this. This is already a higher daily body close than we've gotten. That's a good sign. So we'll see what tomorrow brings us. We'll see, you know, what the rest of the week brings us. I'm not necessarily saying next hour, next week, next day, but the next phase is Ethereum breaking out. What up? What's up, Ski and Solnick community? What's up? What's up, Cali XT? Dynex is flying. That's right. Yep, this is a clean breakout. I talked about this just the other day. I said that the downtrend has been broken. We are in accumulation. This is a clean breakout for Dynex. I've been talking about this for a while. It is starting to wake up for sure. It's a good sign. Retracement minimum is going to be 70 cents. Let's go, Solnick. Top 5 crypto low-kin long-time investment. Solnick, Flux, Dynex. What's another low market cap that I like? I don't know. Oh, Fat Cat. Hee hee. You think it's too late to long on ETH? No, I don't think so, because I think it's going to go to 3,300. I would just, you know, be cautious, low leverage, and have a plan to sort of DCA if it doesn't break out. Bro, amazing TA you do. Thanks. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for subscribing, Muhammad. Pinlink thoughts. I think Pinlink is bottom. Krill, Suki. Yeah, I like those. All right, guys. It's getting pretty dark. I'm gonna end it here. It's been a good live stream. I'll be live tomorrow. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I need to get a better lighting. Dang. Twitter, Twitch. Peace, love, prosperity. I will never message you first. I will never message you first. I love you, but I'm not going to message you, all right? But that's going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch.